Good night, everyone, and welcome to the God Restores Hope for the Youth Gospel Series. I'm Tracy Smith, and it's a pleasure for you joining us here this evening.
Good night, everybody.
Live broadcast of this
Good night,
wonderful
brothers and
gospel
sisters.
Series, and it's
Tonight we have in our midst
SDA Church. I'm so glad you could
to
make
talk
it this
about
evening. Share with us in this
financial
wonderful
planning. And I
event.
know
For this
that
evening,
this topic
a number of
is a very
exciting
important
activities
one in
will
our
take
Christian
place.
experience.
It will be an exciting
Tonight we
group
have
presentation that will be
Sister
held right now.
Narga
It's on
Leach
financial
from
planning.
the conference
Just
office,
in case you
here to tell
need
us
a little tip on
about
how
why
to save or
financial-
what to save and what are some of the things that you can save towards. A financial planning presentation will be over to you. Now, just to give you a sneak preview of what tonight's topic will be, Pastor Darren Murphy, our host, will be presenting on God is Not Dead. So I hope you stay tuned to this wonderful occasion and now take you back to main stage.
We're off. And let me see the hands of anyone who knows anything about NIS. NIS. What do you know about NIS? It's a deduction from your salary. Okay. Anybody know what NIS means? What a bright group. Good. So, the National Insurance Scheme is a compulsory funded for the Social Security Scheme, which offers financial protection to the worker and his family against loss of income arising from injury on the job, incapacity, retirement, and the death of the insured. Now, to benefit from the NIS, you must be registered with the scheme and pays regularly into the scheme. So you must make your regular contribution. Under the National Insurance Act, every person reaching the age of 18 should be registered. Everybody at age 18 should be registered under the scheme. Upon registration, you are given a unique number. That number is for you and you only. So if somebody else has your number, there is trouble. Because that number follows you from the day you start making your contribution to the day when you get the benefit or your family members get the benefit. Now, there's a record in the office of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. That record is referred to as your life record. It has your name, your number, if you are employed, your place of employment, and it tracks your contribution over the period. Now, the contributions. Anyone know what percentage of your salary is taken? Anyone? Okay. 2.5% of your gross is what is taken as the NIS. If you are employed, like, I am employed, I'm not self-employed, from my salary, it's 2.5. My employer would also pay an additional 2.5, right? And since 2013, the maximum deduction or your maximum salary that can be affected from NIS is 1.5 million, maximum. So that would give us an average, or that gives us $125,000 per month. So if you earn $150,000 per month, the additional $25,000 is not affected by NIS. So, I am not employed, I'm self-employed. Can I contribute to the NIS scheme? Yes, you can. And I want us to know that whatever business you are in, you can contribute. So if you're a taxi driver, any taxi drivers out there? Any dressmakers, tailors, whatever, igglers, you sell in the market or you sell by the school, you can register, you can make your contribution. Now, for the taxi drivers and the self-employed individuals, you make your contribution on a quarterly basis. So you make your contribution on March 1, June, September, and December. And you make that contribution on a form that is referred to as S03, right? At the end of the year, you make an annual report on what is referred to as an S04 form. Now, if you are a domestic helper or a gardener, you are not left out, right? Because you too can make a contribution to the scheme. What is expected from domestic helpers and gardeners and all those persons is that you would get what is referred to as an NIS stamp card. The NIS stamp you purchase at the post office, and it's $100 per week. Now, as someone who might be a living helper, or you are employed to an individual that you go to at least 5 days per week, that person would share in the $100 per week. So you pay $50 and the employer pays $50 per week. So at the end of the month, it's $400. That would be your NIS contribution. Now, if you are a day's worker, so you work today for Miss Jane, tomorrow you work for Miss John, tomorrow is for Master Tom, you too can make your contribution, but the $100 per week comes directly from you. Understand? Are we together? Right. So everybody can make the contribution. So I'm making a contribution. What benefits can I get from NIS? Most of us know about pension, right? That we can get our pension from it. I must pause to say that unlike NHT, you cannot get a refund. NHT, you get a refund like every 7 years, 7, right? So this year is 2017, you would be getting for 2010, right? So unlike NHT, you cannot get a refund. You are eligible for your pension at age 65. Somebody is crying out. Okay. You can get it earlier, you know. You can decide that you want it earlier, but you will suffer some loss. All right? So, if you are 65 and you remain in full-time employment, you have to continue contributing to the scheme, but you cannot claim a pension. So if you are 65 and you are still employed, you cannot claim the pension. If you are 70, if you work up to age 70, whether or not you are still employed, you get the pension. But if you are 65 and you are still working, you cannot claim the pension. Yes, that was confirmed by someone from the NIS office today. Yes, madam. Okay, if you die before retirement age, somebody will get. Somebody will get. No, you're not going to get it, man. If you die, you can't get it. But you're going to get it if you die. It has to be somebody else who benefits from it. All right? Okay. Are we together? Okay. So for us to be entitled to a pension, we must contribute up to 10 years. Up to 10 years, at least 10 years and over, contribution must be made before you can be entitled to full pension. Am I seeing a hand at the back? Yes? Sure. We will talk about that in a little while. All right? So, we said that if you get the benefit of after 10 years and over. Now, and then you'll get a lump sum, and then you'll get fortnightly payments. Now, if you pay less than 10 years, you get a one-time grant. A one-time grant. Okay? And so, for those of us who will get the pension, we will either get a book with the vouchers and you go to the post office and you claim, or the money is sent to a commercial bank, your account at a commercial bank. Someone asks if you're injured. So if you're on the job and you're injured, you'll get an employment injury benefit, right? If the injury caused a disability, you'll get a disability benefit. And if death occurs, your loved one will get a death benefit because of the death, sorry. Now, widows and widower, you also are entitled to your spouse's pension, right? And for married people, you have to be married for at least 3 years. In a common law relationship, the relationship has to be on for at least 5 years, and you must be in the relationship at the time of death. It can't be, okay, we broke up and him died, and so you have to be in the relationship. So to qualify, you should be living together at the time of death. The spouse should have paid at a minimum of 156 weeks contribution. And also at the time of death, if the spouse was receiving pension or invalidity, old age pension, you would get it, right? The spouse would continue getting it. The surviving spouse must meet certain conditions, right? And I won't go into conditions. Just to say, for example, if you are 55 and over and your spouse was receiving a pension and the spouse dies, then you will get that benefit for the rest of your life. If it's under 55 and you have a child that is under 18, the benefit goes up to the 18th birthday of the child. Right? So
just a few announcements.
Thank you, everyone, for staying tuned to this wonderful broadcast for this evening. I hope your hearts are being blessed by tonight's sermon. I'm a big deal. My friends, if you feel down,